we're going to begin removing all these parts from its plastic bags. Make sure that so once you remove these from the plastic bags, throw them away. You don't want any children playing with it and accidentally, you know, doing something you don't want them to do. So I'm just noticing right now that this is basically an off-white color. Should have thought of that. I've seen people do a great custom build of this, or painted job, a painted build job, you could say, doing a lot of appreciating on it, especially with the red and orange. I could have done that, but then I'll be one of hundreds that've already done something like that. The metallic build, the metallic paint job is easy to do, but it's also a lot of work. For those of you who don't remember, you got to do many layers just to get the right one, and that's what I want to try to do this time, because even though my metallic painting has not always been the best, I think I'm kind of improving a little bit here and there. For those of you who remember, I think my first metallic paint job had to be the Destiny, the Master Grade Destiny, followed by the Wing Gundam Kotoki, which was the updated one, which I thought it could have been a little bit better. What was another one? Of course, the Master Grade Tallgeese, which I won 3rd place on that one. Let me put these to the side so I can begin. I'll begin with the charcoal thing. And then, of course, let's not forget Master Grade Sazabi, which I was very, very impressed with a lot of the metallic paint jobs that people have done this past few months, maybe a year, you could say. So they really, you know, even though I did the 3-tone gold color, it wasn't up to par. I always had some problems with the airbrushing, or maybe the glossing. My gripe has to be the actual gloss black base of from Elclad that doesn't always seem to spray pretty well, and just drives me nuts. It's like, what am I doing wrong there? So I'm going to try a different type of paint, try to get a different type of gloss, and see how that works. And where did I put my clippers? I just had it in my hands a moment ago. Alright, you're gonna have to just give me a moment while I find that, and then we'll begin removing all these parts and separating them by trays. Okay, after finding my clippers, of course, I began removing all the parts from the trees, separating them by color: white, charcoal. This is basically dark charcoal or black, and red, a very little amount of yellow, and a shitload amount of orange in the clear part, plus 2 blue parts for the trim. Didn't realize there were only just 2 parts were blue. Let me revise the paint scheme again, just so we are all we all understand. So that one, of course, will be chromed. This one will be gunmetaled. However, the parts that make up the the missile packs on the shoulders, on the waist, and on the legs, I think I'm going to do a different set of colors for the missiles themselves. I'm just going to give you an example. So we have this part here, which is part of the shoulder, and then we have the missile pack here. I think this is the wrong one, but we'll use this as an example. It goes, actually no, it doesn't want to go there, so... Oh, here we go, we'll use that. Still the wrong one, but doesn't matter. So you understand that one goes through there to simulate, but they're both the same color. So using one of the Alaclad paints, Alaclad 2 paints, I'll paint the missiles a different color. I don't know if I'm going to use chrome, if I'm going to use silver, but I'm thinking of using copper. Copper is a pain in the ass to paint, but I'm willing to give it another try. Somebody suggested I should rethin it again. I just don't know how well the Alaclad 2 paint will react to a non-Alaclad product thinner. I don't have thinner from Alaclad because I don't think I've even seen them, because they're supposed to be pre-thinned. So I'm going to test out that using one of my other thinner products. So yes, that one I'm going to be putting on the tray and spray painting in a different color tone, especially like here, the inside of the Gatlings, the barrels, as you can see here. And of course, this reminded me of my idea a long time ago, where this would have been cut open and I would have made a little mechanism for the little barrels here to turn when you open the little side doors of the chest. Trust me, I went way ahead of myself, and I said, no, there's absolutely no way I can do this. But hopefully somebody can figure it out. Moving on to the dark color parts, which is basically a majority of it, will be the Gatling Guns. Considering it's a different color, not the gunmetal, I think I'm going to paint it metallic black. Then I'm going to paint the barrels chrome. The barrels and then the actual these. And then of course, like I said, metallic red or hot metal for the red, and then the other gold colors for that, and the blue would probably be indigo blue if I can use that. Okay, that's pretty much it. So let me begin. Oh, and not to mention these guys, which I'm going to remove. They're 7 each, so 7 will be one color, 7 will be another color, and so forth. You know, it'll be, and then I'll put them one after another. I just need to remove them from these trays, and then separate and clean them and separate them and put them. And of course, I have a cardboard here, which I purchased new reversible tape, so I'm going to be using the reversible tape a lot in order for this. But I think that's not going to be the case, because now I'm realizing that even if I put this on reversible tape, I need to paint the other side of this. So I think I'm going to be needing to use toothpicks. Yeah. 20, there's 7 times 4. That's 14, that's 28, that means 28 toothpicks. Time to break open another bag. Okay. Let me begin cleaning up, and then we'll move along. So right now I'm finishing up with the sanding of the some parts here, specifically this one here, which represents the actual Gatling gun weapon of the Heavyarms Master Grade. I was just reviewing pretty much all the parts, seeing which one needs to be assembled first and get it out of the way. And so I started working. I said, let me look at the Gatling Guns, which is of course the most unique part of the kit. See, that's pretty nice right there. So cleaning this up, putting it together, gluing it on. Clearly it's going to be primed. This represents, of course, the barrel which holds the bullets. And then of course the Gatling gun itself, which of course has that little connector, that little spacing here and here, where you connect that little flexible part, and then put all those little plastic pieces, the small ones that I showed before. Which of course once I'm done with this, I'm gonna move on to that, clean those up, and put them on alligator clips, because it's not something I can actually put on a board. Which I have the board right here, which it was the one that I used when I was making the 00 riser. So I'm just going to put more tape on this, reversible tape, and seeing which parts I need to put on so I can paint it all. But looking into the weapon itself, now this is already pre-assembled how it looks. There's nothing missing here. Obviously there's a lot of sanding here that was done. This part, which is a bit annoying, you could see the lining, but if you could see the line, but clearly when you prime it, you're not going to see the line. But if you turn it into an angle, you see the actual separation of the part. And sometimes when you sand it down, you do more damage than good. And no matter how many times you try it effectively, it's always screw up. So I have to still do it again to remove the seam lines off that. It took me a while to get rid of some over here and under here, especially over here as well. This frame here, which is of course holding on to the Gatling gun, I'm going to remove it because this has to be painted separately. What I mean by separately, let me explain. So everything will be gloss black. Then once it dries and then I give it a clear coat, I want to of course paint all this the chrome here and here. Then using masking tape, cover all this up here and here, and then repaint it metallic black. I also want to do it here, but this will be a challenge to actually paint this all metallic, then cover it up, and then respray painted the metallic black. I don't know how I'm going to tackle this, but we'll figure this out soon enough. I also may want to paint this chrome as well, these little notches there, then cover it up with the masking tape, and then it looks good like that. I don't know any other place around this where I can do a different tone of color, but clearly for this one it's the same thing. So I remove this, I paint the frame chrome, but then the outer frame black, the metallic black. Yeah, seems to be a lot easier that way for this, and it'll look a lot easier. It'll look a lot better. So that is pretty much what I'm thinking of doing with the gun. So let me put this back together. Besides the weapons, of course, I began assembling some other parts as well. For example, here is the inner frame of the Heavyarms. And I already put this on here, which represents the part where it opens the Gatling guns. This part, there's two parts here. So I'm going to remove this one that represents the circle around here, so I can paint the Gatling guns chrome. And then the other one will be the normal color. Then everything will be removed and put on the trays and all that stuff. Here's the leg. The leg is very good. Strong leg though. I forgot how strong this kit is, even for its size. It's pretty good. It's supposed to be bulky and strong, and I think it's a little too strong because I ran into a problem, and I gotta show you this. So here is of course the right arm of the kit, and here's the parts. Here's the missile pack that I put on, but I'm going to remove later on. Here's this one that goes here, and this goes in here, so it looks like that. This, on the other hand, even though it's the same, I am not putting it on this yet. Because when I was test fitting this part, which supposedly fits to this, got stuck. And I was saying, what's going on? Why is this so, why isn't it being so difficult? And as I was pulling it out, this little cap here popped off. And I'm saying, what the fuck was this? How the hell did that happen? I guess maybe in the way I was entering it, or maybe I was positioning it, I have no idea what happened. I don't know. I have no clue what could have caused that. Now, I sanded it down and I glued it on using glue, and it can barely get in. I don't want to push it in too far because there is a little bit of glue around it. I'm using this to sand around this slowly and widen it a bit, so that way I can at least get it in there all the way. I'm going to give it a day before I do that, and then I'll sand around here. But this was I was like, what the hell? I stripped the peg? How the hell did that happen? This is not a total loss, even though this is the arm that will be holding this weapon. I forgot about that. But that doesn't mean I'm giving up on this. I will try to see what I can do to recover this. If for some strange, unforeseen reason I cannot move this, it will be a permanent fixture. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? But nevertheless, we must move on. Mistakes happen, and I must work with my mistakes. So let me continue cleaning up, and then we'll move and we'll show off some other parts.